Last week on CDN Play.
You spread your knees on your mat and then let your toes meet behind. You sit down in your heels and then you walk your arms towards the top of your mat and then drop your elbows.
She is an architect and a former model. Let's put our hands together for this pretty architect, Miss Janssen Ibanez. Hello, Siloys. With me right now is a very pretty architect, Janssen Ibanez. Jan, would you like to say hello?
Hi everyone.
All right, so as I've mentioned, she's an architect, she's very young. How long have you been an architect?
I've been an architect 1 year ago when I was registered, but we had an apprenticeship for 2 years. So I've been a junior architect for 2 years.
Oh, so you've been practicing architecture way before you passed the board exams. Where did you first practice?
I practiced 1 year in IT Park and another year in Jakarta.
What were your projects there in Jakarta?
We had resorts in Bali.
Wow. Okay.
So we did like a bamboo innovation in Bali.
After that, you came back?
Yes. After that, I came back to Cebu to take my board exam, and then I went back to Jakarta and resigned, and then came back here to work on some projects with some friends. And then I just thought that I think I can do this by myself. So I did, and I partnered with my grandpa.
Oh, so your grandpa is an architect or a contractor?
My grandpa is a contractor.
All right. Okay.
He had his own construction firm.
So you also learned from him?
Yes.
Great.
I learned from him and my parents. My parents are also civil engineers.
So what's your first project?
My first project...
As a licensed architect?
So as a licensed architect, actually we're sitting here. This is my first project.
Wow.
So we did the interior, we did the landscaping, and we did the furnitures. We customized furnitures, we designed interior, exterior, landscaping.
It's a very nice place. We'll show you more of this place later on. So, I heard before you were also a model, right?
Yes.
Do you still do modeling on the side right now?
Right now, I don't really do it.
Anymore.
Not anymore.
When was that? When you modeled?
I last modeled before I graduated, and that was 2017.
When did you start?
I started when I was like 17, 18.
In college?
Yes.
So you were modeling while going to school?
Yes.
Was it difficult?
It was difficult because in architecture we need time to do things like drawing and everything. But I have to do it because I need to sustain my education.
Amazing. So you spent for your education in college?
Yes, mostly like for the extracurriculars.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive in architecture, but yeah, we got through. Like I still have help with my mom in some places.
So why didn't you decide to become a model instead? Why did you pursue architecture instead?
For me, is that it's already like the profession that I'm really passionate about, and doing something that I love is not actually working, as they say. So I loved architecture, and once I became an architect, I thought that this is a name that I want to expand, a name that I want like people to know that I'm an architect, not just a model. But it would be, for me, it was a dream to be known as an architect.
Okay, let's say you're not an architect right now. Would you still be a model, or what would you be?
Right now, if I'm not an architect, I would be somewhere as a business owner, maybe.
Okay, so what's the most challenging part of being an architect?
The most challenging part is usually time management. Like in construction, it's really difficult to manage time, especially with different people around. Like you have to be at the site most of the times if you want like the project to finish in a deadline. So usually when I was in Jakarta, we had a deadline is a deadline. But when I came here, it was like
Good luck.
Yeah, it was a good luck. It was baffling that I had to adjust with the timeline and everything. But actually, it happens. There's always setbacks in construction, and I find it.
All right. So That's the most challenging part. But what would be your favorite part of being an architect?
So my favorite part of being an architect is building. So I design and I build it into reality, and it is something that you have a vision for it, you build it into reality, and it's just promising. That it's interesting that you just draw it and then it comes to life,
And when it does, it's fulfilling, right?
it's very fulfilling.
Okay. What do you do in your free time?
So in my free time, I usually travel.
You're you mentioned
Yeah.
she's actually a traveler. Do you travel usually for business or for pleasure?
Sometimes for business and sometimes for pleasure. So usually for pleasure.
Why? Can we relate you being an architect to being a traveler? Why do you travel? As an architect, what do you get from it?
So as an architect, traveling is inherent to my profession, and like the culture, the people, the religion, it's all part of architecture. It's what shapes architecture, and it makes me innovate more once I see it. So the more I see the architecture, the more I am immersed to culture, is the more I innovate my designs.
Yeah.
And it's an
You
additional
have more
information.
inspiration.
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite place among the places you've traveled?
My favorite place would be Myanmar.
Why?
Because Myanmar is so different. Like, they were colonized by the British, and there's British architecture, but the temples, there were like tens of thousands of temples that are different in each way. And I just thought that it's different. Okay, we have Cambodia and Angkor Wat, but it's really different because it's sprawling, and the people are different. The culture is very strong, and I just find it interesting that not a lot of people go there.
What place would you want to visit someday?
So a place I want to visit could be Hawaii.
Why Hawaii?
Well, Hawaii, they have a strong culture, and it's not all about high-rise buildings. It's mostly about the culture. So let's say they have the totems, they make designs out of it. The religion, the food, everything is just mimicking the environment. And it's very hard to do that nowadays with like modern buildings. Yeah, so they are more cultural in their buildings.
All right. Let's go back to you being an architect. What's your favorite project so far?
So my favorite project is this one right here.
Really?
Yes. Yes, this one for me is special because this is the first one.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier. Okay.
This is the first one, and yeah, mostly it's customized. So.
What's your inspiration in designing this house?
So my inspiration in this one is like with the help, of course, with the owner, who is very humble and beautiful. Thank you for
Easy to
letting us
work
hear
with,
it.
right?
Very easy.
That's
to
very
work
important
with. Yeah.
because you know if your client is difficult to work with,
Yeah.
you don't have what do you call that
Yeah.
freedom of
Yes, we have restraints
Oh,
in doing our design.
Yes.
Yeah, but Miss Sugar Salma is really nice, and she.
Thank you, Miss Sugar.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Sugar. And she lets me design things. So she gives inspiration, and we just design it for her.
So I'm very interested because this is your favorite project.
Yeah.
Is it okay if you show us around?
Of course.
All right.
Let's go. So this is the living room. We're sitting here.
This is lovely.
Yes, it's supposed to emphasize this black wall. So we customized the bed, and of course the side tables, We also customized this one. The
So this is
console-
your master's bedroom.
Yes. So we did the landscaping also here.
Really nice view, no? So can you believe this is the lawn for you?
Yeah, mostly the landscaping. We did it before the interior.
Jan, thank you for showing us around. I love the place. This is your first project, and for Nino, it's such a success. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the whites. How you played with your crystal chandeliers, your silver accents, really lovely.
Thank you.
No? And right now we're here sa terrace. And it has a very lovely view. Look here. So you have your water, your sky, the mountains there on the other side. Lovely, good. Nice kayo ihang design. Anyway, how about your dream project? And somebody in dream project.
My dream project would be socialized housing.
Oh.
Because I keep thinking about like helping other people. Like I've always thought about when I graduated, I want to give some housing. So I want to do some housing projects, maybe partner with some owners.
NGOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do socialized housing. Like I've always wanted to do housing using shipping containers and then integrate it into a house. Or
Do you mean container vans? Not really.
not really, like shipping containers that are bigger.
Okay.
So you can use it. I've seen it. So when I was traveling, I saw it. They made it into a hostel.
Where?
And I was in Sri Lanka. They made it into a hostel. It was really nice. You can fit a lot of people inside. So I think it's very cost efficient, time efficient, and yeah, I think if time allows, then I would definitely do it.
Alright. Now, how about your dream house? Actually, we're supposed to have, as a tradition here in CDN Play, we're supposed to have a game, right? But earlier, we asked her na lang to draw her dream house. Would you like to show us your dream house, the one you draw earlier? You drew earlier? There you go. Sige, can you explain a little bit?
So I call this the box garden
Kasabot
house.
mo?
It's not such a nice drawing. But I was thinking, I've always wanted to do green architecture. I'm such an advocate about it. So I wanted to do a roof garden. So it's all green. So what I learned is that what you take out in the land during construction, I always give it back. So I put a roof garden in it.
So this is your roof.
So it's not that
Glass.
Yeah, so this is all glass. This is like a cube with glass, a trellis for sunlight. And then we have vines to go with it. Para sa more siya blinds kunuhay ba na.
And you have a pool on the second floor which overflows
Yes.
to the ground floor?
Yes.
Wow!
I've always
Invite me on your
Yeah.
housewarming, ha? Kami ni Mitch and ni Jerry.
Yes, I will invite all of you, Julie.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Raul. Ambot lang. I think she will invite you. You're not here. She doesn't know you.
So I've always liked the sound of waterfalls. It's so relaxing. So if
I
I'm
agree.
already in a mountain, then I'm just gonna make a waterfall for myself. I've been inspired with the Falling Water House by Frank Lloyd Wright. So I wanted to make it for myself. And then we have gardens and yeah. So everything here.
It's boxy.
Yeah, it's boxy.
It's the uso design
Yes.
nowadays, no?
So, yes,
Minimalist.
Minimalist. I like modern contemporary
Yeah.
design. So yeah, so it's simple but
It's actually magnificent. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you.
thank you.
And now I have this what do you call this? As a traveler, I'd like you to tell your followers because I understand you have lots of followers on Instagram. No, but you're not a blogger, right?
No.
Would you like to say something to your fellow travelers? Like probably some tips, or to those who want to be travelers?
So all I do is that I've always wanted to travel. I told myself last 2016 that this year I will travel. And with that, people will of course ask, well, where will you get the money? They're always gonna doubt you, like, oh, it's so dangerous to go there. It's so dangerous to go there, don't do that. But actually, I want to do it, so I did it. So the more you if you have a passion for traveling, you just do it. And
Find ways.
You find ways to do it. I do backpacking. I travel solo. I stay in hostels most of the time. You meet friends. And then it's very cost efficient, of course, because you're staying in hostel. You do backpacks, hand carry. So everywhere you go, it's not that much. So as long as you want to travel and you want to see the world, it's very easy nowadays because we have cheap airlines nowadays. Like AirAsia, Travel by AirAsia. This is not sponsored, but so if you want to travel, then you can just do it.
How about to your fellow architects, the ones who are also starting just like you? You want to tell them?
So to my fellow architects, I would say that you do you. Because the moment I had this passion for architecture, and for me, design is everything. The details is everything. The intricacy of the design is everything. So what I thought is that if you do yourself, and then if you just know what your passion is, and then you emphasize it through your design, then people will see it and people will appreciate it.
Well said. Thank you very much, Janssen. Thank you very much for guesting on our show. And to all those watching CDN Play, thank you so much. Please do not forget to share this video using our official hashtags CDN Digital and CDN Play. This is Priya Padilla. See you all next time. Bye, Siloys!